Hey, I'm Roxie with Roxie's Broadway Breakdown. Welcome back to my channel. And so today I thought I would do the difference between contralto, mezzo, and soprano tones and belt tones and the different ranges and gradations between different vocal types and textures, because I think this gets really confusing with musical theater vocal types. I'm not an opera singer, but I know with opera they have totally different differentiations and the way they classify their vocal types. I mean, even with sopranos, there can be like 6 different classifications of sopranos, but we don't do that in musical theater. In musical theater for females, when you go to a call sheet for a role, it's like, it's soprano or mezzos. And that's really difficult because if you are a alto or contralto and it says mezzo, you kind of are going, well, I don't know. I mean, am I right for this role? You know, is how high does the mezzo get? Like, how high are some of those top notes? Is it a belting role? You know, how low are some of those notes? And so you kind of get lost somewhere in the shuffle of that. It's a really big mixing pot of just kind of throwing those roles around and just saying, you know, alto, contralto, mezzo, it's just kind of all the same thing. One of the truest contralto roles in musical theater, or alto roles, is Sally Bowles. And Liza Minnelli is known for this role. And in musical theater, you know, I think sometimes mezzo is also known for just like belters. And so a lot of times, you know, people just say, oh yeah, Liza, she's just a mezzo, she's a belter, just like her mother, Judy Garland. And that's really not fair either. Because she's really a contralto singer. You know, she's really an alto. Yes, she can belt. She had a great voice. She could do a lot with her voice. But Sally Bowles is really a true contralto role. But a lot of times when you go to the call sheet, you're just going to see Sally Bowles, mezzo. And that's not really fair. That's not really true. So let me start showing you what I mean by some of these different ranges and shades of voice that I'm talking about. So let's go to Sally Bowles, Maybe This Time. And I'm just going to sing snippets of these songs to just show you where the voice kind of lands, in the chest or the head or the stratosphere. All right, so I'm jumping into Maybe This Time. All right. Everybody, oh, they love a winner, so nobody loves me. Lady peaceful, lady happy, that's what I long to be. Well, all the odds are they're in my favor. Something's bound to begin. It's gotta happen sometime. Maybe this time I'll win. Okay, so you see, that really sits deep in my chest. I'm really comfortable with that kind of song. It's just right here in the pocket. It's deep. It's kind of got those round tones. I can belt those kind of notes very comfortably. So that's what I mean by that's a true, like, alto kind of song. All right, we're going to skip ahead now to, I'm going to go to some Andrew Lloyd Webber songs. He doesn't really write for the normal kind of person that should sing every night, night after night in a show. But we're going to go to some Andrew Lloyd Webber songs. So we're going to skip ahead to, and this is Mary Magdalene in Jesus Christ Superstar. I Don't Know How to Love Him. And they always list her as a mezzo. I don't think she's a mezzo. I think she is a true contralto as well, because this song sits also in my chest, but it sits upper chest, whereas Sally Bowles was down like deep chest. this song sits a little higher in my chest, and you're going to see what I'm talking about here. I'm going to also again slip into like her higher, like where she's belting higher notes. Okay. Oh, come on. Ah. Okay. I never thought I'd come to this. What's it all about? Yet if he said he loved me, I'd be lost, I'd be frightened, I couldn't cope, just couldn't cope. Okay, so those top notes, I never thought I'd come to this. That's still here. I'm not using any head voice to belt. It's right here. And so then I just backed away for what's it all about? I just pulled away from my chest voice. I'm not belting, so I just pulled away a little bit. And I still didn't even go into my head voice for yet if he said he loved me. It's a little bit of a mix, but I'm still here in my chest. And this role is very comfortable for me. This song's very comfortable for me. So not doing anything big. That's why I say I consider this still an alto role. I'm not really utilizing anything soprano-ish for this role. Now, let's skip ahead to Evita. Eva Perón, I would say, is truly a mezzo role. Patti LuPone, this is probably one of her most notable roles, and Patti LuPone is a true definition of a mezzo soprano. So we're going to skip ahead to Evita, Evita. All right. Now, Don't Cry for Me, Argentina is a really interesting song because while yes, at the end, she's belting, you know, don't cry for me, Argentina. That's still like upper chest, but the rest of the song is this really nice mix of like head and chest. It's very light and ethereal. She doesn't really belt much of it if you've ever really listened to it. It won't be easy, you'll think it's strange when I try to explain how I feel, that I still need your love after all that I've done. You won't believe me, all you will see is a girl you once knew, although she's dressed up to the nines, at sixes and sevens with you. Okay, so that's what I mean. That song stays right here. It never really goes anywhere until the end. So it's not really belted. It just kind of is an odd song that just kind of lays right here. Okay, so it's not belted. And it's not really chest, it's not really head, it's just kind of light. So I wouldn't really classify that as a true belt tone. Okay, that's not belting, it's just a nice singing light voice. As opposed to, we're going to go to Rainbow High. Now, this is what I would call a true mezzo belt in every sense of the word in Rainbow High. This is where Andrew went a little crazy. Okay. Okay, sorry. I'm their savior, that's what they call me. So Lauren, but call me anything goes. To make me fantastic, I have to be rainbow high and magical colors. Okay, so those are some high notes. And that's where I'm placing my belt, right in here, like using those sinus cavities as speakers. I've said that before. So that's that high belt you have to push up and over in through here. So it's not a belt here like in Maybe This Time, and it's not a high chest here like I don't know how to love him. It's I'm their savior. It's really up here, and it's not this light kind of like in Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, where it's da da dee da 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 dee da 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 da. My voice is getting dry. I can tell. Okay. So you see what I mean? There's like there are 4 different kinds of tonations and 4 different placements of your voice types right there. Now, going to, now I am not a soprano at all. So I'm just very lightly touching Phantom of the Opera because this truly is for legit sopranos. And going to the song Phantom of the Opera, where he's calling her to sing My Angel of Music, and she's doing all those really crazy notes. Crazy for me, it's not crazy for a soprano. So she's singing of the opera. Okay, so that is really like hard for me. That's like falsetto. But for a soprano, those are belted. Like that's her belting tone. She's not doing it falsetto or in any kind of weird head space. I mean, it's those are, I mean, she is utilizing head voice, but it's a strong head voice and it's a belted out head voice, and she doesn't have to utilize falsetto. I do because I don't have that kind of, you know, voice to just belt those out. Those are not in my range. But that's another kind of placement. If I had to sing a quick note in falsetto, just something light, you know, I can, it's weak. I don't really have a developed head voice. But if I had to place a note or two from moving up from my head to my falsetto voice, I could utilize a note or two up there. But that's what I'm saying. If you know of a role that is like, oh, you know, could I sing that role? You have to really know, well, is it a high mezzo role or is it a low mezzo role? Like, what are the deepest, lowest notes that I would have to hit? Or what are the highest notes I'm going to have to hit for that role? And what are the highest notes I'm going to have to belt? Or what are the lowest notes I'm going to have to belt? So that you can figure out, is this a comfortable role for me or not? And where would I have to place those notes? Are they comfortable to, you know, in my chest or in my head? And what part of my voice am I going to have to utilize? And that's what you're going to have to start figuring out for your own voice, of where is the placement in all of this for me in my voice of, you know, am I truly a contralto, but do I have some range up here? Or am I truly, like, is my voice mainly here, but do I have some lower register to my voice? And you can always extend your range and work on it, You know, as long as you're working it properly, taking care of your voice, working with a vocal teacher. So some of you have also asked me, well, you know, I like to sing, you know, I can match this pop star, like a Lana Del Rey or Selena Gomez or Billie Eilish. And, you know, all of them have great voices. They're all very unique voices. I like all of them. I suggest, though, if you are in musical theater, to also sing along with Broadway voices like Jessie Mueller's and Shoshana Bean's and Megan Hilty's, because you really do want that sort of quote-unquote Broadway sound, because all of them can do pop and jazz and blues and Broadway, but they always have that sort of, you know, Broadway substance, that sort of Broadway vibrato to their voice, and that is that true musical theater sound you want for a stage performer, a musical theater performer. Just a side note. All right, I hope you found that helpful. If you did, let me know in the comments below. I'll continue to do videos like this if you find them helpful. Don't forget to click and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next.